has blessed me with opportunities such that my standard for what I accept is so much higher. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So it has officially been 3 years since I came on here talking about I quit that job, F that job, I'ma be free. Y'all remember that? Does it feel like 3 years have passed? 'Cause I know a lot of y'all joined me 3 years ago. A lot of y'all were in similar situations, either where you had jobs that were so annoying and toxic and you were sobbing and smoking weed in the car before your shift started and just going through it. Some of y'all were like, okay, we getting out of here. I'm in the same boat. And some of y'all were like, you are my inspiration and I see you and I'm knowing that I can one day do the same. So let me know in the comments, like, where are you in your journey in the 3 years since? 3 years, like that's kind of wild, right? And so what I did, I want to make a little recap, update, 3-year, follow-up video. I actually asked good old ChatGPT to be like, hey queen, what are some questions that I should answer in a 3-year follow-up video? And they spit some out for me. First one, how did you manage financial instability or uncertainties in the early days? And what advice would you give to others in a similar situation? Now, I think this is one of the biggest questions folks have when it comes to quitting their 9-to-5, because they're like, literally, how are these bills going to get paid? The thing with holding on to your 9-to-5 and saying, I need this job to pay my bills, is that the portal you have open for receiving money and for receiving abundance will only ever stay the size of your 9-to-5 job, right? And the reality is there are so many ways that money can come into your life. I live a life now where I will check my bank account and I will just have a $100 deposit and I have no idea where it's from, because I have opened so many different random portals for money that I just see a $100 wire deposit and I'm just like, great. Like, I really hope I am the last person that someone should use for one of those scams where it's like, hey girl, I'm just gonna put some money into your account, because I'm not gonna follow up. No follow-up questions. I'm gonna assume it's from that remote year referral code program, or it's from that consulting I did, or some random survey I did, or my AdSense money, or a coaching client. There's so many random sources of income. I think I maybe had 3 sources of income before I quit my job, not counting the 9-to-5. I had YouTube AdSense coming in. Did I even have my, I don't know, I didn't even have my Patreon started yet. So I think it was just YouTube AdSense, affiliate links, and the remote year referral program, which is a pretty generous program. In terms of passive income, I think that's been one of my favorites, because I had a great time on that program, made videos about it. It's been over 5 years now, and I still have people who come to me like, hey girl, can I talk to you about the program? And then when they sign up, they use my code and I get like sometimes just $100 if they do a shorter program, or like $500, right? There are all of these forms of abundance that are waiting for you to say yes to, but if you say the only one that I trust is the 9-to-5, that's the only one that you'll accept into your life. The biggest sign for me that I would be okay once I quit is that the video I made about quitting is what blew up my channel. I was hovering around 4,000 subscribers before that video. I would have to look to see what my AdSense was, but I'll look and I'll add it here. I made this video about quitting my job and I made over $1,000 in AdSense. So I had all of these ideas about like, okay, I gotta move out of LA because I'm not gonna have enough money. And the reality is that I like made a month's rent, like just from a single hit YouTube video, right? But I do wanna name that the fear is real. And I think that's actually what you're being invited to process if it's on your heart to quit your job. Because the reason you're in a job that you hate is because you're scared. Because why else would you be there, right? Like if you didn't believe that you had to be there, if you didn't think that there was something better on the other side, like why would you stay in something that wasn't serving you, right? And there's a part of you that knows that you can live without fear. And a part of you really, really wants that, right? And you deserve it, and it's awesome. And I'm not saying I live a completely fearless life, but I have far less fear in my body than I did before I quit my job. And that has come through facing financial challenges and not dying, like, because those things seem like the end of the world. They seem so existential, like I am going to be on the street homeless, like you really think that? And the reality is that I have like lived here in the suburbs in Maryland. I've lived in New York City, one of the most expensive cities. I've lived in Mexico. Like I have had all of these really beautiful experiences experiences, all from ups and downs in my financial journey. And I do want to note the importance of being financially supported by my sister here in Maryland. And it is such a blessing to have this kind of support. There are so many ways that you will be supported that you maybe hadn't thought of and maybe even hadn't considered as support. Because I recognize what a blessing it was to live here, but this, like the suburbs, doesn't match the lifestyle I want to live. And so I didn't really see it as a blessing. I kind of saw it as like a trial and tribulation. I was like, this is something I have to get through so I can get on the other side of what I really want to be doing, right? Being here, I've been able to say, oh my gosh, thank you, what a blessing this is. And what was also really helpful is that I started living here and I was not paying a dime in rent. My sister was very generous. And I also had a story that I was telling myself, which was that I couldn't afford rent. And so you can see the way that a belief can then be reinforced by your external reality. And then we got to a point a couple of months ago where she was like, hey queen, how about we start paying rent? What I was really grateful for is that I started paying her rent and I could do it. Like I was making enough money through coaching and through AdSense and through Patreon and through consulting and through all these random things that I was like, oh wait, I have rent money. And that belief changing is key for me to not live here anymore, because if I don't think I can afford to not live here, I will be scared to actually try to do something different. So I'd say like the financial stuff, it really is a visceral felt sense of fear, even if every day you're still safe and warm. It's just this like your mind will tell you that you're not safe, and then you have to do the internal work to say, okay, am I actually going to try to overcome this? Another insight that was really helpful for me, because I started my 9-to-5 free life with 10 grand in savings, and there are some people who they need to have 50 grand in savings before they make any kind of decision, right? Because there's a certain level of external like validation they need for them to be like, okay, I'm safe in my own body. What I noticed is that there are many people who have way more money than me, but if I met them on the street, I would have like a more joyful and sunnier disposition, and I'd feel safer in my body, and I'd have like a higher vibration and a higher energy. And I think sometimes we kind of get it twisted and we think that it's the money and it's the resources and it's the external stuff that allows us to have a high vibration, but actually it's that we have a high vibration and that attracts the money and the resources and all of these things. And so I think if you find yourself in a situation where you're paying your bills, but you're miserable and you're sick and you are addicted to something because you're trying to cope, you have to sort of ask yourself, am I being taken care of the way I think I'm being taken care of if my actual lifestyle and my actual energy is down here, right? Because if you have money up here but your energy is down here, then it's that like question of what is the actual point. And similarly, there are people who they have so much more money than I do, and they are still in a situation that is toxic or is keeping them stuck because they think they need so much more. On paper, they're richer, but then in experience, I'm the one who's more free. And it's not a competition, because freedom is all of our birthright. Like that's like liberation is just the truth of our soul and who we are. So it's just a matter of each person going on their path to get to freedom. And you're gonna get there in this lifetime or the next, like it's fine, but we're all gonna get there eventually. So you just get to decide, is now the time where I sort of take that chance and take that step and move towards freedom? Is it gonna be in 3 years? Is it gonna be in 3 years after that? Or is it gonna be not in this lifetime and maybe we'll do it in the next one? And it's all fine, because we're gonna get there eventually. Another question from ChatGPT. How has your understanding of success and fulfillment changed since becoming a full-time YouTuber? ChatGPT came through with the questions. I see why it's gonna steal all of our jobs. So I'd say the biggest change has come from thinking that YouTube was a means to an end, right? So I thought of YouTube as being a means to having a Squarespace sponsorship. Not, what's the one that does the mental services? There's BetterHelp. I heard some wild things about BetterHelp. So if I'm ever on here shilling BetterHelp, y'all, like something happened. something happens. I also saw YouTube as a means to an end of getting a TV show, being in a movie, kind of making it in the traditional sort of Hollywood structure. And I've been very blessed that because of my YouTube channel, I've gotten to like do a commercial, and I've gotten to, you know, shoot a pilot for a reality show. And one thing I'm noticing, and one thing I have also been told, is that the power as a creator, as an artist, as an entertainer, to be able to speak directly to your audience and make money directly from your audience is huge. And to enter a studio system is to actually give up that power and to make far less than you can make as a YouTube creator. I was listening to this podcast with Jake Johnson from that sitcom New Girl. He had just started a podcast after, you know, doing movies, doing TV, and he was talking about the difference in being able to speak directly to his audience and his experience when he talked to friends who would, you know, be shooting Marvel movies. And they'd be like in Romania for 3 months, you know, away from their family. And he'd ask them like, how much are you getting paid for that? And they were getting paid scale. And so I Googled like, what is getting paid scale? And it's basically minimum wage for actors, which can be as low as like $27 an hour. And I was like, what? I was like, what? I currently charge, like when I do my consulting, and this number is only gonna go up, I currently charge $200 an hour. Like that's my minimum. Speaking of abundance, so I made a video where I talked about how I'm operating on vibes, and even though I don't know where I'm gonna live, I know it's gonna be fine. And I say in that video, listen, you might be the one with my next opportunity. So if that's you, go ahead and shoot me a message, right? I had someone reach out and be like, hey girl, we see your vibe, it's awesome. We've got this coaching program. We would love to bring you on as a coach. And I was like, oh, great. What is your hourly rate? When I tell you that hourly rate was so low, and what's beautiful, oh my God, I'm so blessed. Literally, I'm so blessed. What's beautiful is the hourly rate they were offering me is more than I have been paid in other creative opportunities that were paid hourly. And if it had been a year ago, I would have seriously considered it. And if more than that, I would have been like, what a blessing. What a blessing this is. The way things have changed. And I literally was cackling to God, like, I know this is a joke because, not because of me, God, because of you. Because I have seen the way you've blessed me. God has blessed me with opportunities such that my standard for what I accept is so much higher. Like for some people, the idea of minding your business and someone offering you a job, just that is wild to them, where they're like, what? You just made a video and somebody was like, can we give you money for work? And I'm like, yeah, that's literally normal. like when that happened, I was not surprised. I was like, this is literally my lifestyle. But beyond that, it's gotten to the point where it's such a high level of support, higher than I thought was possible for myself. Because that's what I'm trying to say is like, with life, with experience, with expansion, with growth, with raising your vibration, your whole life gets better and better and better. And so the things that before you were like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed to have this, you're like, oh, this is very literally a cosmic joke, and God knows my sense of humor and loves to see me laugh. And so that's why this opportunity is coming into my inbox. For folks who are currently in situations that are super toxic, I am sure, and I hope this is true for you, that you can look back at your life and at times when you accepted far less than what you knew you deserved, and you look back like, what was I doing there? I could have been anywhere doing anything with anyone, and I was putting up with that, and now it seems wild to you. You're like, I would never, you know, it seems crazy. And that's what's possible for you when you let yourself have better, and better in ways that literally will make you cry with gratitude, which is my experience now, is that I'm constantly like brought to tears with gratitude because God has blessed me so tremendously. Even orienting my life towards YouTube success and external success, that has totally shifted, where now I think my number one priority is always sort of raising my consciousness, being connected to God, raising my vibration. My external world catches up and mirrors the shifts I have made in my own consciousness. And it's a fun treat. So for instance, the video I made about safety and 9 to 5 in YouTube, that video like kind of went viral. It has over like 40-something thousand views, which is really big for my channel. An older version of me would have been like, oh my gosh, a video with tens of thousands of views. That would have been a big deal. But because I know how vibration works, I've already done so many processes where I connect to a really high level of gratitude, and I'm really happy and I'm really joyful. So I know I don't need a hit video to feel joy. I can feel joy whenever I want. And so when I get a hit video, I'm like, awesome. It's like, cool, what a treat. When we look at other people who have what we want, we maybe assume that they're just like ecstatic, like, oh my gosh, you know, like that's their relationship to their blessings. But because they embody the frequency that makes those blessings normal, for them, it's just like a normal day. So me living my life right now where I like woke up without an alarm and then I was like, okay, let me do my little bit of yoga. Let me do my little workout class. Oh, love this. Take a shower. Okay, let's make a video. You know, like to have the freedom to do that on like a Tuesday is for other people like a dream scenario. And for me, it was a dream scenario years and years and years ago. But now that's just my vibration, and that's literally a normal day for me. And that's what's possible for you too. This is getting long and my battery's about to die. I have a few more questions from ChatGPT. If you want me to keep making more videos and answering more questions, let me know in the comments. But thank you all for hanging out with me and being with me on this journey. I love you. If you want some one-on-one time with me, a free coaching session for you creatives who are transitioning out of your 9 to 5, you can put some time on my calendar in the link below. Okay, bye.